Yeah, I think they'll start in a minute and we'll cut across to what Sanjeev Bajaj has to say. But Tamanna, this is what dreams are made of, right? Of a business which started off as one company years back. It was into insurance, that got into consumer lending, has now a mutual fund arm which is fairly large and developing, has a housing finance business which is listed. The journey of Sanjeev Bajaj over the last 15, 20 years has been remarkable.
Exemplary. And it's not ending there, right?
Yes, it's not.
He says that I want to be part of the financial needs of every Indian throughout that life cycle. Let's listen in, actually, to that Q&A.
First one, your book is very close to that 1 lakh crore mark, about 97,000 crores. 3 years CAGR 31%, 5 years CAGR 29%, much higher than what your peers have been doing. What I want to understand is that till when do you expect this kind of strong growth to continue? That is upwards of about 28 to about 31%. When does the growth start normalizing slightly? Or do you think this is the normalized growth for the business that you've been doing? And can you double that book in the next 4 years, just going by the growth that you've been doing so far? Next question is on the NIM outlook. I just want to understand what kind of margins do you foresee yourself? Now that you're listed, you'll be able to share some numbers on that front. And as banks are seeing a drop in their CASA ratio, down the line, do you expect that impact to come on your NIMs also, because it's become costlier for you to raise funds from the banks also? In that case, what are the alternate measures in terms of the tweak to your borrowing mix that you're looking at? Final question, 7 years we've had Bajaj Finance, Housing Finance listed. I understand there was certain amount of input that came from the regulator as well. You have another 2 subsidiaries, the life insurance, general insurance arm. The regulator there has been saying that companies which complete 10 years should look at listing. Which one out of those 2 and by when could we see them getting listed, them coming public as well? Thank you so much.
Let me just start first by thanking our shareholders, our investors, and everyone that's contributed for this listing today of Bajaj Housing Finance. We are truly overwhelmed by the response that we are seeing over the last couple of minutes. I'll take the question on growth, and then Atul will take the question on margins. Those are the 2 relevant ones. We've had very strong growth, but this is in the background of a very strong, consistently growing economy. And if you look at credit cycles in India, we expect steady credit growth at 12 to 15% in the housing industry. And on the back of that, we are enthused that we can continue to grow strongly. The economy is showing very strong tailwinds, and that's what gives us this comfort. Atul will take the margin question.
See, we are a variable rate company. On our asset side, our assets are variable, which are largely linked to a floating rate, which is linked to our cost of funds, and the liabilities are also largely variable. So on a steady state basis, through the cycles, mortgage companies generally have a steady state margin. So we do not expect any impact on margins from the listing, whether positive or negative, because that was from a cost of fund perspective, because we had already been a highest rated domestic rated company, and our cost of funds are relatively quite competitive compared to the market. And with a variable rate asset size, the NIMs are likely to remain stable, like in case of all variable asset companies. We do not see the credit deposit ratios, what the question you called out on, if they are deteriorating further in terms of a mix. We have a healthy mix of bank borrowings and the money market in our book, and we expect it to continue.
And on the last question,
yeah, we are talking about Bajaj Housing Finance. That we'll take that another time.
Thank you so much.
Hi sir, Ankur Mishra from ET Now. First question to you, Mr. Bajaj, and I'll come for the second question later. I want to ask that now that shareholders, the prospective shareholders have become shareholders now, and they have rewarded with you with the bumper list. Now for them, what should they expect in next 1 to 2 years from Bajaj Housing Finance? Is there going to be any kind of a dividend? What kind of promises do you want to make for shareholders?
Well, we've just listed the company, as you said correctly, a few minutes ago, and we are thrilled with where we are. Shareholders should expect a business that grows with high quality, a high level of corporate governance, that brings the right blend of technology in this particular business, and sustained growth with high focus on quality of the business and a diversified book is what we look forward to building.
To you, Mr. Jan, I want to understand, you mentioned about the borrowing mix from banks as well as other options. But with the kind of scrutiny and the new norms which is coming from Reserve Bank of India, can we expect some kind of change in terms of ratios, how we will be borrowing?
See, we borrow at a particular point of a time looking at the market availability and also optimization of our ALM and optimization of our cost of funds. So there is no standard at a point of a time what happens. So the calls are taken by the treasury team on the market scenario. Like I called out to the earlier question, we do not envisage, given our rating and given the confidence of the lenders, which whether in the money market or in the banking space have on the overall Bajaj and Bajaj Housing Finance there, we do not expect the challenges to be there in raising the money, because regulators' requirement had been towards increasing risk weight to other category of companies, not the housing finance companies. So we don't expect a challenge in terms of maintaining the balance.
Thank you.
Firstly, I want to congratulate Bajaj for listing. My question to you is, Sanjeev, that how do you assess the demand for affordable housing going, because it has been lacking with respect to premium housing? And do you see the rate cuts will have an effect on this? And also what is the plan for the promoter holding, the long-term view? And my last question is that the merger of HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank, has it reduced the competition intensity on ground?
So I'll have Atul answer some of the operational questions, but let me say, as promoters and as promoter group, we are strongly supportive and highly confident on this business and this company. We know as per listing requirements, within 3 years, promoter shareholding has to come down to 75%, and that is something that we will look to doing in the coming years. Atul, over to you.
On affordable, your question, see, given India, in recent parts, it is correct what you have called out, the premium housing growth had been higher than the affordable housing. But given very strong government focus on housing for all, very strong schemes what we have seen from the budget what have come, and on the ground demand from aspiring India, we believe affordable housing finance or affordable housing demand would be far more in the coming years as we go from here. That is where on affordable we are concerned.
And about the rate cuts, will that
So
bring up the demand?
rate cuts do not necessarily tickle the demand up, like we have not seen rate increases trickle down the demand. That's what we saw, because again, it being a variable rate business, I think the borrowers and the people, when they decide to buy a house, they know that the rates are subject to going up and down, because in India it's a full variable or a floating rate mortgage is what we run. So it's a part of the cycle. Generally, decision for buying a house is not deferred or not preponed because of the pricing in our observation.
And about the merger of it, has it reduced the competition on ground?
HDFC still is present in the mortgage space. So they have changed the corporate entity from an HDFC Limited. Now they do the mortgage business in HDFC Bank. So the situation remains there, and they remain one of the largest players in the mortgage industry even today.
सर नमस्कार, मैं सौरभ पांडे जी बिजनेस मुंबई से। सबसे पहले आपको ढेरों शुभकामनाएं आपकी कंपनी की शानदार लिस्टिंग पर। मेरा सवाल मिस्टर बजाज से, सर आगे बढ़ते हुए अगर कंपनी की ग्रोथ की बात की जाए, किस तरह से आप जो है कंपनी का ग्रोथ देख पा रहे हैं, और जिस तरह से आपने अपने स्टेटमेंट में कहा कि सभी को अपना घर मिलने का पूरा अधिकार है, कैसा विजन आप आगे बढ़ते हुए देख पा रहे हैं?
सेक्टर की जो ग्रोथ रही है और जो हम कमिंग ईयर्स में देखते हैं, तो दिस इज लाइकली टू बी 12 to 15%, विच इटसेल्फ इज वेरी स्ट्रांग। हमारी ग्रोथ रही है हायर देन दैट इन द लास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स। इसकी कारण यह है, इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ए डिवर्सिफाइड book that we have built across multiple customer segments. Second, it is the way we leverage technology and data for a seamless customer experience in taking on a home loan. And third is the focus of the management to build a good quality long-term business. So हमारे हिसाब से these are all ingredients that continue to be there.
जी अतुल जी, मेरा अगला सवाल आपसे है कि अगर बात की जाए कैटेगरी चेंज की, तो हम होम लोन से अब डेवलपर लोन पर भी फोकस रख रहे हैं, तो किस सेगमेंट में सबसे ज़्यादा ग्रोथ देखने की उम्मीद कर पा रहे हैं?
देखिए, हम चारों सेगमेंट जो मॉर्गेज के बड़े सेगमेंट हैं, चाहे वो होम लोन है या डेवलपर फाइनेंस है या लीज रेंटल डिस्काउंट या लोन अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी, हम शुरू से ही सब सेगमेंट्स में रहे हैं। और जो क्योंकि हम हाउसिंग फाइनेंस कंपनी के तौर पर रजिस्टर्ड हैं, हमारा डोमिनेंट पोर्शन ऑफ बुक एज अ रेगुलेशन will be home loan and continues to be home. Is still also home loan and will continue to be home.
हाय सर।
नमस्ते, मैं अनुराग सर। मेरा सवाल सर, जो करोड़ों रिटेल निवेशक हैं जिन्होंने आपके आईपीओ में सब्सक्राइब करा और उनको रिवॉर्ड भी मिला, तो उनसे जुड़ा हुआ होगा सर, उनको किस तरह का आप भविष्य से जुड़ा हुआ आश्वासन दे रहे हैं? और आईपीओ के दौरान सर आपके द्वारा एक जो बात कही गई थी वो काफी लोगों ने पसंद की, रिटेल निवेशकों ने भी पसंद की कि भविष्य की आप एचडीएफसी बनाना चाहते हैं बजाज हाउसिंग फाइनेंस को। तो सर उस लक्ष्य के लिए जो ग्रोथ के टारगेट है आपके किस तरह के होंगे, किस रफ्तार से आप बढ़ेंगे? दूसरा सवाल सर इस जवाब के बाद।
तो उसमें मैं यही बोलूँगा कि जो रिटेल शेयर होल्डर्स आए हैं, वी आर वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू देम, एंड हमारी कोशिश यही रही है टू बिल्ड ए हाई क्वालिटी बिजनेस गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, एंड वी लुक फॉरवर्ड टू हैविंग यू विद अस एज लॉन्ग टर्म शेयर होल्डर्स लाइक यू हैव बीन इन सो मेनी ऑफ अदर कंपनीज।
सर दूसरा सवाल मेरा रहेगा, जिस तरह से लिस्टिंग के दौरान कई सारे दिग्गजों ने कहा, आपके बीआर ने कहा कि 30 साल बाद जो है ये एक बजाज ग्रुप का आईपीओ आ रहा है, तो उसको आप आपकी इंटरनल भावना किस तरह की है? और सर इसके साथ साथ आपने अपने संबोधन में भी कहा कि हम एनविसाज करते हैं कि हर भारतीय का एक फाइनेंशियल पार्टनर बनने का, तो वो लेकर क्या प्लान है? तो हम देखिए कि जो 30 साल का इंतजार रहा था वो भविष्य में इतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा, जो कि निवेशकों को भी सर 30 साल तक इंतजार करना पड़ा।
अभी भविष्य के बारे में तो क्या बात कर सकते हो, तो भविष्य में ही मालूम पड़ेगा। But yes, we are all very thrilled with this listing after 30 years. And like with every other Bajaj company, our aim is to build high quality institutions, and we hope that the markets will recognize that.
Thank you.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कंग्रेचुलेशन सर। सर जिस तरीके का रिस्पॉन्स हमें मार्केट में देखने को मिला है, जैसी शानदार लिस्टिंग हुई है, कैसी ओवरवेलमिंग सिचुएशन आती है इन्वेस्टर्स का इस तरीके का भरोसा देख के, साथ में ब्रांड को देखते हुए जो इन्वेस्टर ने भरोसा जताया है?
नहीं, वेरी क्लियरली इन्वेस्टर्स की जो इंटरेस्ट और भरोसा रही है, दिस इज वेरी हम्बलिंग फॉर अस। वी आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड फॉर इट टू ओपन वेयर इट डिड। ये मैनेजमेंट पे और बोर्ड पे एडिशनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी रखती है कि जिस तरह से हम पिछले 7 सालों में एक क्वालिटी बिजनेस बिल्ड किए हैं, उसी तरह वी मूव अहेड, और and we play a very significant role in not only in the housing business but through that in helping taking credit across India in the coming years.
जी सर, जैसे कि इस टाइम पे हम रेपो रेट देखें तो अपने ऑल टाइम हाई पे है, तो हाउ यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग द रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ, और ये किस तरीके से आपके बिजनेस में इम्पैक्ट कर सकता है, एंड हाउ आर यू प्लानिंग टू लाइक ओवरकम दिस?
रेपो रेट का बढ़ना और घटना पूरे कंट्री के मैक्रो से रहता है, और कॉस्ट ऑफ फंड्स और बैंकिंग सिस्टम का जो प्राइसिंग रहता है, जो हमको लोन मिलते हैं या जो हम आगे लोन दे पाते हैं, वो इससे लिंक रहते हैं। आज का जो भी डिमांड रहता है, जैसे मैंने पिछले वाले क्वेश्चन में भी बोला था, क्योंकि हमारा जो एसेट साइड है वो भी वेरिएबल होता है, जो हमारी कॉस्ट ऑफ फंड से लिंक होता है, और कस्टमर्स को भी जो घर बनाता है, क्योंकि वो लॉन्ग टर्म कमिटमेंट है, उनको मालूम है कि थ्रू द साइकिल कभी रेट ऊपर जाते हैं और नीचे जाते हैं, और क्योंकि रेट लिंक होते हैं, जैसे रेट ऊपर जाता है नीचे जाता है, इसका हमने डिमांड पे बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर पड़ते नहीं देखा है। और ऐसा ही, और अभी वैसे भी जो जितना हम सुन रहे हैं या पढ़ रहे हैं, उसके हिसाब से तो अभी रेट आने वाले समय में, कुछ समय में जब भी होगा तो नीचे ही जाने की आशा है, और ऊपर जाने की तो आशा नहीं है।
थैंक यू सो मच।
Hi sir, this is Subhana Sheikh. I work with NDTV Profit. This is the first listing of by Bajaj Group in nearly 30 years. Just wanted to understand when can we see another listing, and Bajaj Housing Finance is playing on India's large residential real estate sector. So just wanted to understand, with interest rates expected to come down soon, how do you plan to evolve your business going forward?
Well, a number of our companies have grown with capital that has come from their parent companies, as and when a business is ready to go to the markets, we take it there, and that's where we are today with Bajaj Housing Finance. When the next is, who knows? Hopefully not in 30 years, but less, but who knows? Atul, you take the next one.
On the rate of interest, again like I called out, क्योंकि मार्केट में रेट ऊपर नीचे जाता रहता है, तो उससे इतना डिमांड में भी फर्क नहीं आता है, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में भी फर्क नहीं आता है, क्योंकि दोनों साइड रेट ऊपर जाने और नीचे जाने के लिए स्ट्रक्चर्ड होते हैं.
Good morning, everyone. I am Pratik from PDI. So your OPEX asset ratio has been improving in the last 2 to 3 years. So what measures company is taking to sustain that growth?
देखिए, जो हमारा कंसिस्टेंट काम रहता है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी द्वारा अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाने की कोशिश करते रहें, जिससे जो हमारी ऑपेक्स जो नेट इनकम रेशियोज हैं कम आती रहें, और पिछले 2-3 साल में हमने उनको कम आते देखा है. कोशिश रहेगी कि आगे भी जैसे हम और बढ़ते जाएंगे, अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाने के लिए और जितने टूल्स यूज कर सकें वो करेंगे, और जैसे हमारा साइज बढ़ेगा उसका भी हेल्प होता है, क्योंकि ऑपेक्स टू इनकम में इनकम का भी हिस्सा रहता है. जैसे साइज बढ़ता है तो इनकम बढ़ती है, तो भी रेशियोज और ठीक होती है.
All right, so that's the bumper listing of Bajaj Housing Finance. I mean, it was expected to be a good one and definitely has worked up to all expectations at about 158 now, 130% up and more.